The rain came down in relentless curtains over Karachi that January evening in 2026, turning the streets into black mirrors that reflected the smeared neon of billboards and taillights. Inside the glass tower of Zenith Advertising on Shah Faisal, Zainab stayed behind after the rest of the creative team had trickled out, claiming she needed to finalize the pitch deck for tomorrow's client meeting. She hadn't lied. Not entirely. But the real reason she lingered was the phone left charging on her husband's desk, Bilal's work phone, the one he sometimes forgot when he rushed home early to surprise her with takeout from Burnt Wings. He'd texted her at 4:17 p.m. "Leaving soon, John. Made your favorite biryani reservation for tonight. We're stronger than ever, promise." She could still feel the warmth of that message, the little heart emoji he'd added at the end, the way it had made her smile in the middle of a tense brainstorming session. Now the phone sat there innocently, screen lighting up every few minutes, with notifications. She hadn't meant to look. She'd only picked it up to silence the insistent buzzing, some group chat from his football buddies, probably. But when she swiped to dismiss the notifications, the forwarded message thread was already open in WhatsApp. It had been forwarded to his best friend, Rayhan, with a single line above it. "Bro, what do I do? I think I'm in too deep." Below that, the conversation stretched back months. The other number wasn't saved under a name, just a string of digits with a Dubai country code. But the messages were unmistakable. January 9th, 2026, 11:42 p.m. Her, "I miss the way you look at me when no one's watching." Him, "Then come back to Karachi next month. I'll make time." Her, "You always say that. Then you go home to her." Him, "It's complicated. But you know how I feel. You're the one who makes me feel alive again." Zainab's thumb froze mid-scroll. October 28th, 2025, 2:19 a.m. Him, "Last night was perfect. I haven't laughed like that in years." Her, "Then why do you keep going back?" Him, "Because I promised her forever before I knew what forever could feel like with someone else." September 12th, 2025, 8:56 p.m. Her, "Send me a photo of you right now. I want to see your face." Him, photo attached. Bilal in a hotel bathroom mirror, shirt half unbuttoned, smiling the same crooked smile Zainab used to trace with her finger every morning. She stared at the photo until the screen dimmed from inactivity. Here he was, her husband of 8 years, father of their 5-year-old daughter, who still asked every night if Baba would read her the same tired storybook about the moon and the rabbit. The man who'd cried with her in the hospital when Era was born premature. The man who'd held her hand through her mother's long illness and whispered, "We'll get through this together," like a mantra. The man who, that very morning over breakfast, had kissed her temple and said, "We're stronger than ever, Zainab. I mean it. No more doubts." The rain hammered the windows like impatient fingers. She scrolled further, each message carving deeper. There were photos, nothing explicit, but intimate in the worst way. His hand on a woman's waist at a rooftop restaurant she recognized from her own birthday dinner 2 years ago, the same place he'd booked for them again last month. Voice notes. She didn't dare play them. Not here, not with the office, so quiet she could hear her own pulse in her ears. A forwarded bank notification from November. Transfer of 85,000 PKR labeled gift to the same Dubai number. And then the most recent one, sent just this afternoon, hours before his stronger than ever text to her. Her, "The other woman, are you telling her tonight?" Him, "I don't know how. She believes in us so much." Her, "Then stop stringing us both along. Choose." Him, "I'm trying. I love you both in different ways." Her, "That's not love, Bilal. That's cowardice." Zainab placed the phone back on the charger exactly as she'd found it. Her hands shook so badly the cable rattled against the desk. She walked to the window, pressed her forehead to the cold glass. The city sprawled below in wet, glittering chaos. Somewhere out there, Bilal was probably driving home right now, humming off-key to an old Atif Aslam song, thinking about how he'd make everything right by being extra attentive tonight. She thought about confronting him the moment he walked through the door, about throwing the phone at his feet, about screaming until the neighbors called security. about packing a bag, taking Era, and going to her sister's place in DHA until she could think straight. She thought about the life they'd built, the tiny flat in Gulshan they'd saved for years to upgrade, the matching coffee mugs they'd painted together in a pottery class, the way Era still drew family portraits with both parents holding hands in the middle. She thought about how easy it would be to pretend she never saw it. To smile when he came home, kiss him hello, eat the biryani, go to bed with his arm around her waist like always. To become another Karachi wife who knew and stayed silent, who told herself that men stray but come back, that love was supposed to hurt sometimes. She hated that version of herself most of all. Her phone buzzed on the desk, her personal one.
Bilal.
Almost home, love. Traffic is mad because of the rain. Can't wait to see you both. Red heart. She stared at the message until the words blurred. Then she typed one word. Okay.
She sent it.
She took the elevator down, stepped into the downpour without waiting for an Uber. The cold shocked her lungs. She walked along the side of the road, dupatta soaked through in seconds, heels clicking against wet pavement. A rickshaw slowed. The driver shouted over the engine noise. Baji, where to? She almost said home. Instead she whispered, anywhere. Just drive. He shrugged, pulled away from the curb. They moved through the city like a ghost in the storm. Past Sea View, where couples still braved the rain for selfies, past the glowing signboards of fast food joints, past mosques lit up for Isha prayer. Inside her chest something was collapsing, slow and inevitable, like a building scheduled for demolition. She thought about tomorrow morning. Era waking up, running into their bedroom, jumping on the bed between them. She thought about Bilal's face when he realized she'd seen the thread. She thought about the word choose sitting in that conversation like a loaded gun. The rickshaw stopped at a signal. Red light bled across the windshield. Zainab touched her cheeks, rain or tears. She couldn't tell anymore. The driver glanced back. Baji, you okay? She nodded. It's just the rain. He didn't press. When they finally circled back near her building, she paid him triple and stepped out. She stood in the lobby a long time, dripping onto the marble, watching the elevator numbers count down from 12. Then she took the stairs, one floor at a time.
Slow.
Each step heavier than the last. When she reached their door, she didn't knock. She simply stood there, palm flat against the wood, feeling the faint warmth from inside. Somewhere beyond that door was the man she'd loved since university. Somewhere beyond that door was also the stranger who'd rewritten their vows in secret chats. She didn't know yet what she would say. She only knew that tonight, something would shatter. And whatever came after, pain, forgiveness, separation, or something entirely new, would have to be built from whatever pieces remained. She turned the key. The door opened with its familiar, soft click. Bilal's shoes were already lined up neatly.
Wet.
Recently home. The hallway light was on. Era's laughter floated from the living room, high and bright. Zainab stepped inside. She didn't call out. She just stood in the shadows of the hallway, listening to her family moving through the rooms of the life they used to share. And the rain outside kept falling, steady and unforgiving, washing the city clean while everything inside waited to break.